listening to the LOZ Podcast Network.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the LOZ Podcast Network. My name's Ken Lawler. I'm your host. You're either watching us in the LOZ app or you're listening to us on KRMS radio on Saturdays from 10 to 11 a.m. on the Simulcast. You guys have heard the show for the last 10, 12 weeks. We talk to people around the lake. We like to talk to people who are doing cool things at the lake, and I can't think of a cooler thing to do at Lake of the Ozarks than to bring in a new concept. Not necessarily new, but a concept that's much needed here at the Lake of the Ozarks. I got Mark Spears. Mark, how you doing, brother?
Good. How are you doing?
Everybody knows you from 1932 Reserve. I mean, we talk to Mark all the time about the Reserve. We love that place. It's an outstanding restaurant. But we're doing a little something different today because you guys decided to up your game and get into the sushi game, didn't you?
Yeah, we did. We decided to build a brand new building and throw a few different concepts in it that we thought Osage Beach and the lake area could use. And so now we are on the final home stretch to get this thing wrapped up and kick these doors open, hopefully before the summer starts.
I'll tell you what, I'm excited. Sushi by R. So obviously the R for the Reserve, but this is its own building. It's a brand new building, sits right there at the road when you come into your guys' place there on the main road. A dual concept. So we're going to talk about sushi for the most part today, but there is going to be DKB, the Driftwood Kitchen Butcher. That's going to be a whole nother concept next door, and that's going to be amazingly cool. But right now, you guys have kind of decided, hey, we're going to start with sushi. We're going to get this opened up here, and you're going fast and furious on getting the sushi part done, aren't you?
Yeah, so we really kind of, over the last couple of months, decided to put, big portion of the focus on getting this room done. I mean, you can see behind me where I'm sitting in the middle of the sushi dining room right now, as we're kind of hitting all of our punch list items and trying to get it ready to go. We thought, it's going to take a while to get the whole thing done, but I had the health inspectors out and the city and ran through a couple options as to maybe if we get this side done, kind of run them as separate restaurants, if we could get this side open before the other side, and they seem to be okay with that. So, we are at the finish line with this one. It looks like something finally. We've got the sushi bar top in tile. We've got some decoration, some decor up. I've got a big pile of plates and all the stuff sitting over to the left of me, and tables and chairs are on a truck. Should be here sometime soon. So, we are, if you hear construction going on right now, it's 7:40 on a Thursday night, and there's people doing tile and people doing trim. So we're pushing hard to get this thing going.
Yeah, you guys you're getting close. And look, I mean, you don't have to necessarily wait to try maybe some of the things that are gonna be on the menu, because I know you guys are doing a sushi pop-up on Thursday evening. So right now, as we're filming this, you're doing a sushi pop-up, and that's just more of a test kitchen. Try to get some of the meal out there, some of the food that you're going to do, testing different things, getting people used to how to make things. But kind of a cool concept because you can go into the Reserve and kind of get a sneak peek at what you guys are doing.
Yeah, I mean, look, sushi's an art. Rolling sushi's an art, and it's it's all about repetition and practice. And so, the culinary team, we kind of started talking. We got all of our rice cooker and all the things that we wanted to have kind of already ordered and put it down there. And I said, well, we got this stuff. Why don't we start doing a pop-up on Thursday nights? And then we can get the staff trained on it, reveal a little bit of it to the public. And look, the first night, was it great? No. I mean, we ticket times took forever. And we had some electrical issues with trying to operate some stuff, but I was just down there earlier, and I mean, like each week it's just getting better and better and quicker and quicker. And, I was just talking with the Cameron and Scotty today. And I thought like the rice that we had today for the rolls was the best we've had, so it's just like little things. It's tweaking things here and there, so if we do them, pop up down there, then, we're a week or two of tweaking things that we figure out each week as we go down there that, we've already figured out before we open the doors here. So I think it'll be beneficial, for us, for Sushi by R, to have done that. And then, I think the community and, locals and everyone that's come in and gotten to stop by and have the sushi and the appetizers and the sashimi and everything. They've enjoyed having that option and the place to go on Thursday nights, a little something different, as we wrap up the off season. So it's been fun.
Yeah, and I mean, this is not your first entree into sushi. You come from some West Coast. You spent some time on the West Coast, so you've been around some really good sushi places. And I know that was kind of an inspiration for this one when you started kind of thinking about, okay, what do we want to do here?
Yeah, I mean, so my wife and I, we were in San Diego for a little over a decade. And that was, I mean, we live, a couple blocks off the beach, and, it was, which sushi joint are we walking to tonight? Load the stroller up, take the kids, go to sushi. It was, and then, some of the different restaurants and concepts that I've been a part of out there, some of the freshest fish and, items and just talented people that you can, run into out there. So I definitely thought that, I think, what Backwaters has done when they opened up the Sushi Hut's fantastic. I think everyone really, really enjoyed it. And, it's a great option and a great idea for the lake, so hopefully, we can build on that. And this is a year-round concept that, now there's a sushi restaurant you can go to year-round, and I've even, shout out to, George Tucker and the guys over at Tucker's. They opened the sushi bar over there, and look, my wife was there, I think, every Friday during Lent, getting their sushi rolls. So
I think there's so much space for it, though. I mean, like, it's funny because you couldn't find sushi forever. Then,
right.
Backwaters did their thing, and then George opened up this year. You guys are opening up, but I just think that there's room for 10 more. I mean, the crowd is screaming for that kind of a menu and that kind of food choice at Lake of the Ozarks. It's been something that hasn't been around. And it's certainly, if you go to any of the big cities, even smaller cities now, you're going to find a lot of different sushi choices, and people love that food. They are looking for it. And the fact that you guys are bringing it to the lake in so many different ways, finally, I think is just amazing for the Lake of the Ozarks, because I can't imagine you guys aren't all going to get crushed.
Yeah. I mean, look, if you don't think that I'd wake up in night sweats and, sit up out of bed in the nightmare that about opening this thing. And I mean, it all good, but I mean, it's, it's a different style of restaurant, it's a different concept. Even just getting food out of the kitchen is different than what we're totally used to. And I mean, we've figured some things out as, over the last 4 weeks when we've done the pop-up down the reserve of how things can run smoother when we get up here. But everything's new. It's it's going to be a new space once we get into it. And I mean, we'll have a few, test nights and stuff like that to try and iron out a few kinks and get some of that true feedback on how we can improve. And then, this thing could open and be absolute gangbusters. And, I mean, that's what I hope it is. And it's going to be, it's kind of, pull your bootstraps up and go to work.
That's right. Well, the good news is that you only have about a quarter-mile drive from the reserve back to there, and so I imagine you're going to put some miles on that little trek between the reserve and the new building. But the new building looks awesome, by the way. I mean, it's super classy. The space is awesome. I think that people are going to really enjoy having that as an option, and I like the fact that, you guys you made the decision to build new and to put some new, everybody kind of rehabs stuff along that strip there. But you guys decided to build something brand new, and it really looks good. And I think it's going to pay off in dividends when people are going in there and enjoying that space. Yeah.
I mean, I think, I don't know that there was a whole lot of options from the commercial standpoint, like for us to try and go in and rehab or redo a building. Especially with this, I mean, we've lucked out, in some of the news over the last, 12 to 18 months, since we've started the project, with the outlet mall being purchased and Bass Pro and all of that stuff going in, a quarter mile away. That's huge for this little corridor. The Oasis is, drive by there's, see a ton of people out there now, and they're making some headway, and that's a mile away. So, I mean, this little kind of corridor here by the Grand Glaze Bridge and Osage Beach, and I feel like the building's got it's class. It's got some character. And it's been a fun project to put together. So yeah, we're really proud of the building, and I think it really looks nice.
And you guys have, you cut your teeth on a rehab, so the reserve was probably enough rehab for anybody. So doing something brand new.
There's not a square corner in that building.
And then let's not, we got a little bit of time, but let's just mention that next door coming, we're not sure when, but you've got the Driftwood Kitchen and Butcher, and that's concept is really unique, and I think it's going to be a cool addition to the lake. Talk a little bit about that for a second.
Yeah, so I mean that's going to be kind of just a fun American fare, chef driven. Chef Scotty's is going to push the boundaries. Like, butcher case as you walk in, where you can, get your cuts, your steaks, stuff like that. He's going to be home making, sausage links and stuff like that you can take for the barbecue. We'll have some different retail items, some private labeled, dipping sauces and olive oils and seasoning and stuff like that you can grab. Small selection of beverages. Like, I'll do my part in trying to source some really fun, good wines that we can offer at a good price. So, have lunch, or you're coming in town, you can, come grab a drink, grab a bite to eat, grab some steaks and some stuff for the next day, sit on the dock, charcuterie boards, out of that market. And then, it's a big, 120 plus seating dining room, big, huge communal table, kind of like at the reserve in front of the bar. Bar is a little bit bigger than the reserve. So, some TVs over the bar, good spot to hang out.
Well, man, it's exciting. I am looking forward to it. I can't wait to get in there and try some sushi. I can't wait to get in there and try some steaks. It's so awesome talking to you and bringing some new concepts in. And I know we'll go talk again here as we get closer to opening on the other side. But congratulations on the new stuff. And we're looking forward to all sitting down there and having us some sushi, sashimi. Maybe we might even drink a little, you have a couple drinks at the bar too, right? That we could try. So
we'll probably have a few things that'll help wash it all down.
All right, everybody. Listen, get over to Sushi by R as soon as they open up. Make sure that you always visit the reserve, because there's always something going on there. And then be looking for the opening for the Driftwood Kitchen and Butcher. Mark Spears, thanks for joining us again, man. We love having you on the program, and we'll have you back to talk about all the great foods you guys are preparing for the Lake Group. And we're getting ready for a great season to start.
Looking forward to it. I appreciate you having me on.
All right, everybody, that's it. We will be right back after these messages.